What do you think the biggest issue for young people in the world is right now?
In the world?
The world.
I would say I know a lot about this topic.
Oh yeah, talking to the right guy.
Because I'm also young. Guess my age.
You look pretty young. 21.
I turn 18 next month.
Oh goodness. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean. So how far into this video can you understand? I'm here in Hongdae in Seoul and I'm interviewing people. I will start out by asking them simpler, easy to understand questions, and as the video progresses, I will be asking more difficult, complicated questions. This is a great video to test your English. Also, I'm not only interviewing native speakers, I'm interviewing people from Europe, people from all parts of the world who are second language English speakers. But I think that's important because when you travel, when you do business, when you go anywhere in the world, you're going to be speaking English with other people who are probably not native speakers. So I think that it's important for you to be able to understand all types of accents, all types of skills. Without further ado, let's begin. Hey, how's it going? What's your name and where are you from?
Hi, my name is Noon. I'm from Thailand.
What brings you to Korea, to Seoul?
Just for travel. Actually, this is my first time.
First time?
Yeah.
Why did you want to come here?
My friend been here many times and she really loved Korea. So she invited me this time for her birthday party.
For her birthday party?
Yeah. We flew from United States like 15 hours
15 hours.
to Korea.
So you're living in the US?
Mm-hmm. I live in US.
What's been your favorite Korean food?
Well, so Korean barbecue. Yeah, we cannot go wrong with Korean barbecue.
Can't go wrong. I'm curious, what is your job?
My job is a business analyst.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
Joaquin, I am from Argentina.
Cool. What brings you to Korea?
I am working as a model here.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Working as a model. How long have you been in South Korea?
1 month.
So how do you like the weather in Seoul these days?
I think it's really nice. I like that some days it's more hot and some days like more cold. Some days you put like more long jeans, then another day some shorts, maybe some short t-shirts, so you can like be versatile, you know? I like it.
A lot of variation.
Yeah. That is good.
Yeah. Is that a lot different from Argentina?
Actually, in Argentina, we have like the 4 seasons, like really divided. You know, when it's summer, it's really hot. When it's winter, it's really cold.
Oh, really?
I didn't experience here summer because now it's like spring. You know, it's not summer. But I think it will not be that bad. You know, I think it will be nice.
Korean summer's pretty dang hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Extremely hot.
Oh, okay.
And humid.
And don't tell me that because in my apartment I don't have AC, so.
Oh no, bro! You gotta get one.
Yeah, I have to buy one. Yeah.
I think you do.
Or a fan, something, you know.
Yo, you're gonna need that, brother. Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Vira. I'm from Ukraine.
What brings you to Korea?
I came as a student just to study Korean, and then I hope to get to university.
So you came to study Korean. I guess you liked living in Korea.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
What made you decide, you know what, I want to study longer here?
I mean, the price of the education is much better than my family lives in the States, and it's pretty expensive there.
Yeah.
And compared to Ukraine, the educational system is much better, and the quality of education as well.
What did you do today?
I actually skipped classes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I hope my mom doesn't see that. Yeah, so I went to cafe and I just studied like just on my own.
Hi, how's it going? What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Ashley. I'm from California.
What brought you to Korea?
I don't know. I just like the Korean culture, kind of like the Korean dramas, Korean music. So I was like, I finally decided to like go to Korea.
Yeah, you like the Korean dramas, culture, music. Is Korean culture very popular right now where you're from, among your friends?
Yeah, it's very popular. In America, especially, it's really popular.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you hear K-pop in the like grocery stores?
Yeah, actually.
How long have you been here?
About 8 months.
It's quite a while.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name and where are you from?
Hi, my name is Hania. I'm from Poland.
What originally brought you to Korea?
Well, I've graduated from high school. I didn't know what to do, and I was already learning Korean, so I came here for Korean language course to improve it, and I really like the country, so I decided to I want to live here. I want to move here, so I just did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you started learning Korean on your own in Poland. What made you want to do that?
I was always a fan of learning different languages in general, and I was really into different like cake cultures at the moment. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it in another language to collection.
Yeah, and your English is fantastic too.
Thank
How did you learn English so well?
I was learning language since I was literally like 2 years old, and I grew up watching like a lot of like international and especially like American Western contents. So
Yeah.
and I went to like schools abroad as a teenager as well. So
Oh, you did?
that helped. Yeah.
That helps. It didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Artemy. I'm from Russia, Moscow.
Do you enjoy living in Korea?
I think yeah. However, I live in dormitory and there are some problems to live because I have no kitchen. I live with another my teammate.
Oh, are you an athlete? Do you play sports?
In Moscow, I'm a fencer. I have been doing this for 9 years. Yeah, and in Korea, like go gym every day. Yeah, that's all. However, I like the weather. I like the people. I like food. Food is very tasty.
What's your favorite food?
In Korea, I think tteokbokki.
Tteokbokki. Oh.
Yeah, tteokbokki is very tasty.
You like that?
Yeah, I like
Is it not too spicy?
For me, not. I like spicy food, and tteokbokki is very nice.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Valentine and I'm from France, around Paris.
What brings you to Korea?
Actually, I'm going to China next week, doing an internship, so I'm just traveling in Asia right now. I've been to Japan before.
Is this your first time in Korea?
Yeah, first time.
How long have you been here now?
4 days, and I'm leaving Saturday. But I really appreciate it.
You really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, especially the nightlife.
What's your job back home?
I'm a student.
Okay.
I study international trade, first year. And I really like what I'm doing.
So Joaquin, what did you do today?
Today I woke up, I had brunch in my apartment, and then
That's nice.
I came here just to chill, you know. I had a free day, so I was seeing new places, you know.
Yeah. You're just hanging out in Hongdae.
Yeah, hanging out, yeah.
What's your favorite Korean food?
I would say bibimbap.
Do you like Korean sauces like gochujang, and do you like kimchi?
Kimchi, I actually like it, like all these like pickly stuff, like
Fermented.
Yeah, fermented stuff. I like it a lot. And then the sauces, I don't know the names, but the ones I tried, I like them. I don't know if this one is called like this, I like it, but in general, I like them.
I'm preparing for the topic exam right now.
The Korean one.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're studying Korean.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Korean food?
I like sundae. I think sundae is my favorite, honestly. And sundae국, yeah.
You're making me hungry.
Okay.
Is there anything on your to-do list that you really want to try or do or eat or experience in Korea?
Oh, like I haven't been to Jeju-do actually. So I really want to go to Jeju-do, and I'm planning the trip right now. So
All right.
yeah,
I've been there many times. I think you're gonna love it.
thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
What's your favorite Korean food?
I know it's maybe not the healthiest, but I love bultak and also
Bultak?
Yeah, bultak and 닭갈비 is really good.
So you like
yeah.
spicy food?
I love spicy food. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
성인이 되어서 언어를 배우는 게 얼마나 어려운지, 그리고 어떻게 해야 진짜로 늘 수 있는지 저는 잘 압니다. 제가 아는 모든 노하우를 25개 강의 안에 전부 담았어요.
그 강의 이름은 바로 원어민의 빠른 영어입니다. 자연스러운 발음 트레이닝, 예문 분석, 워크시트, 그리고 넷플릭스 장면 분석, 어휘 확장 레슨까지 모두 들어 있습니다. 이 강의 하나면 자막 없이 넷플릭스를 이해할 수 있게 될 거예요.
이 과정은 여러분을 안 들려요 단계에서 자막 없이도 들려요 단계까지 끌어올려 줄 거예요. 아래 링크를 눌러보시고 이 강의가 어떤 변화를 만들어 볼 수 있는지 직접 확인해 보세요.
Have you had any moments in Korea where you were really embarrassed? Or you were just confused, you were lost, you didn't know what you were doing?
No, really, no. I think everything is like easy to understand, but I think the language barrier and also that they don't use the same letters than us, you know. Because for example, I go to, I don't know, France, at least I can read the stuff, you
The
know.
alphabet.
The alphabet. They have the same alphabet than us.
Same
but
letters,
for
yeah.
example, that I don't understand what it says, you know.
yeah.
I think that is confusing, but you can do it if you think.
Sure. I think it's pretty easy to learn Korean compared to Japanese or Chinese. There's only 28 characters, so much
nice.
easier compared to other languages. But I hear your point. I understand what you're saying. How about dating? Is dating difficult these days? I don't know. I'm married, but I'm sure you probably can go on some dates.
Actually,
Good-looking guy.
personally, I don't like Korean women. Like, it's not
your style.
It's not my style.
You like Argentina women?
Yes.
All right.
Also, the best in the world, Argentinian
The best in
women.
the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I'm not used to, you know.
Only 1 month, right?
Yeah, only 1 month.
How
but
long are you
then
going to be here?
Until June.
Has anything surprised you about Korea?
Oh, recently I actually made a presentation about that. Like 눈치 보는 문화, it's like when people they kind of pay attention to like before doing something that they want, they kind of like look around like what people would say if I do that. So I think that surprised me a lot because people like in Ukraine or United States they're more like free and they don't really care about other people's opinions.
Sure.
But in Korea, I think it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
People care about what other things.
Sure. There's a lot of social expectations. How about Ukraine?
It's not that big, I think. I guess the people, they do care with other things, but they try to show off as they don't care.
They act like they don't care. So do you feel pressured by that a little bit here?
Sometimes. For example, when I'm visiting my family in the States, I don't really mind like filming TikToks or taking pictures because I don't care what other people think because everyone does the same. But in Korea, I don't feel 100% free and I'm still like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't. Like it's kind of weird, yeah.
Gotcha. Is there anything on your to-do list before you leave Korea?
Well, I'm checking it off tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to Gyeongbokgung Palace and dressing in hanbok with my friend. And I really want to go back to Busan before I leave Korea. Well, if I decide to leave Korea, I have to go to Busan.
Why do you like Busan so much?
I don't know. Like I love the people. I love the beach. I love the food because I love seafood.
Yeah.
And Gamcheon Village, I love going there.
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah. So Busan really speaks to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you see yourself living in Busan instead of Seoul?
Yes, I can see that. I was deciding whether to live in Busan or live in Seoul before I came here. But because I have friends here in Seoul, I was like, it's more comfortable to like live here.
Makes
but
sense.
if I had the choice, I would have picked Busan.
What's been the highlight of your trip so far?
Oh, well, so far, I got a lot of K-beauty. Plus,
Products?
Yeah, products and the service.
What kind of service?
I have like, I'm not sure what's that called, but it's kind of like facelifting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
at the clinic. I don't see the result yet, but hopefully it's turned out good.
I guess, are you still healing from it?
Yeah, that's why I have to wear glasses all the time. Sorry.
No worries. What's something that you want to take back with you to Poland?
Maybe like the just convenience of everything being like so easy, like stores being open 24/7. Like whenever I need something, I just like in the middle of night, I can just go to see or something. Like boom, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
It's so much easier, and like the transportation is so quick and efficient, convenient. Yeah.
So it seems like you really enjoy living here. Can you see yourself living here for a long time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean that's why I've been here the past almost 4 years. So.
Oh, you've been here 4 years. I missed that part.
Almost, yeah.
I missed that part. Okay. Do you miss Russian food?
Sometimes yes, but in Korea there are a lot of like fast food and restaurants outside, and they're so cheap. And in Russia we have only like expensive restaurants out of home, and people are usually cook something at home in comparison to Korea.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so expensive. Yeah, to eat somewhere.
Okay, so people eat out a lot in Korea,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
in Russia, people mostly cook at home.
Yeah.
And you're kind of missing that you don't have your kitchen. You're missing that kitchen. Because you want to cook some yummy, some tasty things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because I go to gym every day, and I'm trying to eat healthy, and it's,
Protein and all that good stuff.
and it's difficult to eat cheap and healthy without kitchen.
It's difficult to eat cheap and healthy without a kitchen in Korea.
Yeah. However, there are a lot of ways in GS and CU
Sure.
to get cheap food like chicken. It's very cheap. However, I only eat like this chicken every day. It's
kinda boring.
Chicken. Yeah, it's kind of boring. And I can't cook some new stuff. Yeah. However, everything else is awesome for me.
How's the level of English here?
Pretty okay. It depends to people, but
How does it compare to
it's pretty
France?
okay in Asia. Compared to French people are bad in English, so I would say, yeah, they're maybe better here.
Has anything surprised you so far about Korea?
I think people here like care too much about what other people think.
Tell me more.
For example, I made really good friends with a translator in one job, and she told me like here Koreans think too much about what other people say. I realized about this because, for example, they really care about how they look, their clothes. All the women I saw, they are always with makeup. Like they are going to 1 block away to GS25 and they wear makeup. I think that is like
too much.
That's too much, and it surprises me. And also,
even as a model, you're a model?
Yeah. But also, there's a good part. I think people are very respectful and they are really good. You know.
Yeah. Koreans are cool.
Yeah, they are
not too bad.
Respectful, something that in Argentina in Latin American countries you don't really have.
They're not as respectful.
Even the guy that works in a grocery store and a person that works in a place always welcomes you with a smile and tries to explain you and to sell the product the best way possible, you know.
In Korea.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not true in Argentina.
It's not something that is every people. It depends on like how that person was raised, you know, not about like the culture in general.
Yeah. But here it's more like something you can see almost everyone on average being like that. That's a great answer.
Yeah, and also the respect they have for all people, you know.
Older
here.
people.
Yes.
For the elderly.
They are designated places in the bus and in the subway for all people, you know.
Great point. Tell me about a time when you completely embarrassed yourself here.
I guess in a lot of cases it's because of the language.
Okay.
So I did have a few times when instead of oppa, I said appa.
That's hilarious.
I know, and yeah, it's because like I guess in Ukrainian we don't have like the very big difference in a lot of syllables.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, it was weird, but people, they understand anyways. So,
yeah. Did they laugh?
Yeah, which is understandable. I would laugh too. So.
Yeah, I laughed just now.
I guess a lot of people, because they don't know the language, they kind of assume that Koreans are rude or like not very welcoming, but actually it's not true. And I had a lot of experiences with like the most heartwarming experiences with Korean people. Like where they just give you food randomly or they just treat you somehow. So yeah, I think that's a lot of people don't know it.
Has there ever been a moment here in Korea where you felt like you had no idea what was going on?
I want to say when I first started school.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I started, it was just all Korean. I barely didn't know any Korean.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Or like when I had to open my bank account, I'm like, what's going on? I had to get my phone number and I was like, I don't know.
Felt a little bit lost, right?
Yeah, or even going to like the hospital, it's kind of just like, I don't know what's going on. They're asking me all these questions like, can you please speak English? So it's just a language barrier.
Yeah.
So the more I progressed in Korean, the more comfortable I got like going to places where you have to like be an adult basically.
Yeah. How did you end up navigating these difficult situations?
Kind of relying on some of my friends that were already here.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, hey, can you like come translate this for me really quickly? Or kind of just reaching out to like my school or like my teachers because they're really helpful as well.
Oh, amazing. That's great. Was there a moment in Korea where you had no idea what was going on? You were lost, you were confused? Any situation or experience like that? I want to hear about that if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. I mean, I had my ups and downs here. I think as most of the foreigners that like went to live here long time.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
I remember when I first went to a bank trying to like make my Korean bank account. I was speaking Korean at the moment, but like I didn't feel confident yet to like do it in Korean. So like I was just doing in English and like struggling kinda because the agent like she did not speak English that way, so she kinda had to like kind of papago my way through it. But now like
now there's no problem.
Yeah, it's no problem. I'm going like making like the bank, making my business, like no worries, speaking in Korean, like no problems at all.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest issue for young people in the world is right now?
In the world,
The world.
oof, I would say I know a lot about this topic.
Oh yeah, talking to the right guy.
Because I'm also young. Guess my age.
You look pretty young. 21.
I turn 18 next month.
Oh goodness.
I think the problem of young people today, first, is lack of discipline. I don't want to say names, but there's a model in my apartment. Bro is in a trip in the other part of the world, and instead of going and knowing new places, he stays in the bed watching TikTok. I think that's another problem of young people that is
They're addicted to social media.
addicted to social media. I have to confess, I also like social media
Yeah.
a lot, but I think when the bad part starts when it starts consuming your life, you know?
Yeah.
Because that dopamine you get consuming like
shorts.
infinite videos, that
Yeah.
dopamine.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling, that's what I mean. Those infinite videos, you know, make you think like, why would I want to go out if I have all the dopamine I need here in my phone, you know?
Makes sense,
But
yeah.
I think traveling, knowing new places, meeting new people, like now, for example, this
Yeah.
is something that your phone doesn't give you, you know? And
I love it.
I think, well, I love life.
Do you have any hot takes about Seoul or anything?
I feel like the stereotype of Seoul being like clean
Yeah.
is it's very questionable because sometimes I'll come outside and it smells like sewage and I'm just like, oh, well, today is gonna just smell like the toilet. Or like when they sneeze and I usually just say like bless you because like everyone in America kind of says bless you.
Right.
But here they'll kind of look at you weird like, and I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
What's pushing you to want to live here another year?
Probably the friends that I've made here.
Oh, yeah.
They're mostly just like other foreigners because I just feel like it's a bit difficult to make Korean friends here.
I see.
Just because the groups are just so like tight knit and they kind of just don't want to open up to foreigners. But the other foreigners that I've met, we kind of just like relied on each other, kind of trauma bonded in a way. So, and probably just like advancing in the Korean language because like when I got here, I knew nothing, like not even Hangul. So I was like, I had to like study that and like being able to like somewhat understand, you know, what Koreans will say to me, ask questions like in the train or anywhere. It's kind of just like, okay, like I'm actually improving, like this is actually
feels good.
working. Yeah, it feels great. So
Yeah.
I kind of just want to like keep up with that also.
Sure. You've invested a lot and you want to keep growing this
Yeah.
new skill that you have.
Exactly. Yeah, and kind of build connections and kind of see if I can go even further, probably like 5 years or so here, but we'll see.
Okay, sounds good. Are you pleasantly surprised with your experience in Korea?
Okay, if I have to be honest, I just came back from a trip in Japan. So Japan really blew my mind. And being here, I won't say I'm a little bit disappointed, but kind of, you know. So
Sure.
I prefer Japan, but
Okay.
it's cool too.
So Japan's just more your style.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. I got it. Makes sense. I appreciate the honesty.
I really like photography, so taking picture of people for me is like a hobby. It's easier the interaction in Japan. I feel like Korean people, they are more cold.
Why do you think it's so easy to compare Korea and Japan?
Oh, good question. Okay, I think you should not compare both countries. I just came back from Japan, so
It's fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh in my mind, and as I said before, Japan is one of my favorite countries in the world. So a trip in Japan like change your perspective on everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have to compare, but I should not.
Do you think because they're so close geographically?
Oh yeah,
That
maybe
it's easy to
maybe
compare
also.
those two?
Yeah, maybe also, and maybe they've got powerful culture like music, you know, and people are pretty like similar how they act.
I see. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Sean, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.